and welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 171. It's coming home.
It's coming home, buddy.
In this week's episode, we keep it short.
Soz, mate.
JfG Ash has been packing. JfG Alex is not a fan of woods.
Nah, mate.
There's a bit of news.
But not much.
And finally, what are we going to buy this year?
Everything. Hello and welcome to the JfG podcast. This is episode 171. My name is Alex, and I'm joined as ever by my very good friend Ash. Hey buddy, how are you doing there?
Hey buddy, as always, feeling good on a Tuesday. Sparkling thoughts. It's fucking Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it is.
Tuesday arms and back, isn't it?
Who would fucking record a podcast on a Wednesday when fucking England are in the semis, buddy?
England are nursing a semi as we speak. The whole of England. Unprecedented footballing going on. I maintain that we still aren't playing very well, but nevertheless...
Doesn't matter.
Here we are, about to go out to Croatia. Yes!
So yeah, I guess we hit the topic of watching the football.
Oh yeah, Gibbons, buddy.
You know, but just
have you been enjoying the fun, enjoying the games?
Oh, it's been lovely. It's been really good. Enjoyed the game at the weekend. What was it, on Saturday? Saturday fun day. Saturday football day. Yeah, it was good. Watched it with the kids and the wife and a couple of beers. It was lovely. Really enjoyed it. And
nice.
Yeah, it was... I don't know. My wife seems to be really getting into the World Cup now. And I'm like, well, you've missed all of it. That's fine. Carry on.
Is she like a glory hunter?
Yeah, of course she is. She's like, oh, we're winning. Let's get involved.
That's what my folks
now.
are like. They didn't give a shit before, and now they're like, oh, so it's been a really good tournament. It's like, fuck off, do you know whether it's been good? You
don't remember Japan versus whoever it was.
You didn't watch it, Ron.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Fuck schools.
Gibbons.
Who knows? Anyway. So yeah, football happened. That was good. England's performance was fine. It got us through.
Sweden were terrible.
Yeah, they just tried to lap it up, and that was about it.
They're a bad team.
Pickford made a good save again, which is always nice to see.
He's good for a little fella.
He's all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
I like him. I mean, Everton scum, but, you know, does what he does, I'd say.
It's been pretty special. We watched like all of the games at the pub except the Sweden game because I had like my cousin over from the States. So my folks were down and they're just really old now.
Didn't fancy the pub.
We couldn't stay in the pub. It was hot and it was quite busy. You know, shit was fucking busy.
It's an
England quarter final. We couldn't find a chair for my mother, so we had to leave. So yeah, we watched it. We watched it back here. But friend of the podcast, Paul, came over and braved my family so that we could continue watching all of the England games together.
Nice.
And we'll be heading down the pub tomorrow night, which is one of the main reasons.
This is on a Tuesday.
This is on a Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the last time we were in a World Cup semi-final, buddies, I was 5. And
yeah.
You don't know how old I am, but you can assume that was quite some time ago.
Yeah.
You can work it out now. Who your boots?
7 years.
Gibbons. So yeah, I should probably talk about, get my shitty family stuff out of the way.
Yeah, go on, quick.
You know what it's like? You have the family up, and after a little while, you just want them to leave.
That will happen.
So it was good when they did, but it was good when they were here because they came up on Thursday night for the Jazz, buddy. They were
Jazz. Jazz.
They were visiting Hever Castle down the road, so they were like, come down for the Jazz.
Jazz.
So the Jazz was good. Violet Jive was the name of the band. They were very good. I do feel the need to name and shame the restaurant that we ate in, buddy.
Oh, fuckers.
It ends a monumental run of good meals that I've had in Tunbridge Wells, in the most spectacular of fashion. This is the worst service I've ever had in any restaurant, anywhere in the world, ever in my life.
That's quite the compliment.
It's incredible. So this is Wood's Restaurant in Tunbridge Wells, buddies. The subject of my first ever TripAdvisor review, by the way. Not something that I normally do. Take that how you will. But, yeah. So, I've never waited. Lots of world firsts here for me, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I've never ordered a bottle of wine and been told by the waiter that it's shit and I should buy a more expensive one in those words. So that's not something I expect to happen. And certainly when that starts the evening, alarm bells do begin to ring, buddy. As I
can
ask
see
the
that.
question, well, why are you selling this one then?
Because it's cheap, I
Good
guess.
Lord, I suppose. It was 20 quid. It's not that cheap.
Not that cheap, really. I can get you a bottle of wine for about £3 if you want. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not that cheap for a shit restaurant anyway. So yeah, another thing that's never happened before, but I've never waited 55 minutes
Ooh.
for someone to take my food order, despite asking twice if someone can come and take the food order.
And
That's
it wasn't
never
one of
happened.
the pubs like Weatherspoons where you have to order at the bar. No, someone was
this
actually
was a restaurant.
There was an actual
this was
waiter.
a restaurant on the Pantiles. There were waiters and waitresses.
Was it busy?
It was incredibly busy.
But still, staffing levels average.
Staffing levels terrible,
Okay,
which was why this happened. But
gotcha.
that's not my fault.
Well, no, that's not your fault. That's your right to complain about their shitness.
Yeah. So there was an hour between the starter and the main, and so they brought us a bottle of wine as a way of saying sorry for that, and they brought us a bottle of the shit wine.
Shit wine.
He'd literally said was bad.
Did you say, is this the shit one?
I did say, this is the shit one, isn't it? And he just sort of laughed. I don't know if he knew quite the gravity of the situation, but
That's good service. Just laugh.
Yeah. So the food was
Good one.
average at best, bordering on not that great. And then none of us even tried to order a dessert. It just was never going to happen, so we didn't. And then we waited quite a long time for the bill, maybe 40 minutes for the bill, completely unsuccessfully trying to flag people down. In the end, I went in and paid.
Just went up and was like,
Yeah, I just went in and paid, and I was saying, like, it's been real bad, but I joined a queue of other people who were complaining, all of whom had been given a shit bottle of wine.
Nice.
And then she was like, I was like, can I pay you for the table, please? Because we'd quite like to leave, like, fucking ever, if that's all right with you.
Today.
And then she was like, yeah, sure. Just like starts putting it through the till and pushes the discretionary tip button and chucks like 18 quid on for a tip. I was like, no.
No. Not today, love.
No. So yeah, it was fucking terrible. Wood's Restaurant, Tunbridge Wells. Never go there.
Go there for a bad time.
If you want, a night of comedy, then that's the place. Don't go there. So yeah, other things not very interesting with my family, buddy. Went for breakfast at the Ivy because it's like a Ponzi place and thought they'd like it, so that was cool. Market in the Pantiles, went to see the football, dinner at the Guinea. It's fucking nice little weekend.
This guy loves it. Out and
it was
about.
just so hot, like the whole family was like dying in the heat. It was like
I had paddling pool out, mate, this weekend again. You know, even after getting a letter saying please reserve your water, I'm like, sure, I'll reserve it. In this paddling pool.
Yeah, I'll reserve it in this inflatable pool.
Yeah, where I can sit in and bathe my balls.
Reserving. That's how it's done. So yeah, that's it really for me, buddy. The missus is away tonight and was away last night as well, so I've just been playing games in my pants and counting down the days of employment.
Just the same as every other day then, yeah?
Givens. You been up to anything else, buddy?
Mate, I started buying stuff for my room. that I'm going to build. Well, I'm not going to build. I'm going to pay other people to build, obviously. I'm not like some sort of worksman, crafty butcher kind of thing.
Crafty butcher.
Oh, crafty butcher. Take my meat in the back door, you know. Yeah, that's a gay joke. Sorry.
Hilarious.
I know, right? Yeah, I bought a HDMI splitter. It's a little box where you press a button and it goes from, 1 to 2. And I bought a bi-directional one. Most of them are, you plug like 2 consoles in, so like your PS4 and your Xbox One, if you're that kind of guy. You plug them in, they go to one like monitor or TV. But this one goes both ways, buddy. Like a bi-directional one, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, both ways. I've got I've got my PS4 plugged into this, and then it goes to my monitor where I like to sit and get a bit hardcore on the old Destiny, and then it also splits off onto the TV. And all I've got to do is press a little button now instead of unplugging loads of cables, or one cable kind of thing. Which is nice.
Really good.
I know, right? It's one of them things I've wanted to buy for fucking ages, but they've all been dog shit because they're all like, all the reviews are like, oh, this doesn't support 4K. Oh, it doesn't do 60 frames per second or whatever. I'm like, I finally found one, and it was on sale for like £9 down from 20. I'm like, I'll have it.
Man, it's a bit of a step up from those old, like, giant strips of SCART plugs.
Yeah.
Where you have all your shit plugged in, and then you've got, like, literal, like, switches. It's like, whoop.
I found
just pop it on VCR.
Because obviously we're packing up the house at the moment because apparently we're moving in a couple of weeks, but I'll get onto that in a bit. And I found my old SNES. You remember like the RF one that said like game and TV, and you flick the switch in between the two? Did you have one of them back in the day?
Yeah.
I found that. I was like, fucking hell, I remember these. They were great.
Good there's one of those on the Master System back in the day.
Yeah. I bought some coloured lights from China. I don't think I said this last week, but I said I was going to buy them, and I said you should check them out. The Yeelight, buddy. I think it's YEELIGHT. That's a dyslexic spelling there, so it probably is wrong.
That sounds good to me, buddy. Have you got them yet?
No, they'll take a couple of weeks coming from China, but yeah. And these work with all your fucking Google Assistant, Amazon Alexa, and stuff like that. And yeah, 2 of them. £24, mate.
That's really good, isn't it?
And I looked up loads of reviews and shit online about it. Looked at like videos on YouTube, and like they're pretty fucking decent, to be honest. So I'm gonna have all fucking crazy colours, hopefully, all over the place, just flashing. It's gonna be lovely.
It's gonna be a special den.
Yeah, mate.
I'm very much looking forward to both seeing pictures and then one day being in that fucking den.
You're most welcome. I was looking at different artwork and stuff that I was buying. I found some like not bespoke, or I guess it's like user created like Destiny posters of like little ghosts, and I was like, right, I'll have that one, which is just the normal one, and I was like, I'll have that one because that's like the Segura one, which is a special one for the Curse of Osiris. And then there was one like where you can design your own, and I was like, I'm gonna make a JfG fucking Destiny ghost.
That's really cool, actually.
So I'm gonna have like 3 of them on the wall and stuff like that. So that was pretty exciting. So I've been packing up the house, getting shit ready, and I said last week we've got the moving date of the 20th. That might not happen now because apparently the old lady's got dementia and won't be able to sign for a house because she's not mentally, or she's mentally ill. I don't know what the terminology is. Oh God, so. Fuck knows where I am with moving house now. Like her family have got to like try and take what's the word?
I can't remember the word either, but I know what you're talking about.
Where
they become
I want to say
have the
equity.
legal right to the estate.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Well, so I don't know, and because she like they could have done this like a couple of months ago because they knew she was ill, but they didn't. So yeah, thanks those guys.
Shit, man. Okay, so you're just waiting, I suppose, for news.
Yeah, I'm in fucking limbo now, so I don't know what's going to happen. Like, obviously, the people that have bought our house want to move in, so it might be a case of we have to go and rent somewhere for a few months, which I don't want to do because I looked at fucking prices of renting places, and holy shit, that crap is like twice as much as my mortgage, which is insane. It's, man, crazy. Anyway, so Yeah, I'm not in a great mood because that news literally dropped 5 o'clock this evening. So not in a great mood. But I did have a massive chocolate mousse, which has made me feel much better.
I mean, the positivity behind a chocolate mousse almost overwhelms the negativity of literally not having a place to live, buddy. So
exactly.
I think you're taking it in your stride.
I mean, my main worries are like fucking internet. Because if I've got to go and live somewhere for like 3 months, I'm not going to fucking take my internet with me. I'm just going to have to. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. Like buy a load of fucking mobile data and live off that. I guess I don't know. So like. I'll obviously keep you informed with what's going on there, but there might be a brief hiatus from the podcast from me. I don't know yet.
Well, we'll take it as it comes, buddy.
Exactly. I know.
There's nothing
exactly.
you can do, is there?
And that's it. Like I said, I'm in limbo. I don't know what I'm doing, so we'll just fucking take it week by week and see what happens. Anyway. And finally, buddy, I watched Ready Player One yesterday. Have you seen
like
it?
That? No.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
You should watch it.
Heard it was okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see how you could say it's okay because it was okay, but I really enjoyed it in the fact that it was fun. Out of like enjoyment, I enjoyed it. You know, like
it's one of those topics, isn't it? Where like because it's like sort of game related.
Yeah.
Where like as people who's like gaming is like their main hobby, you can kind of come down on either side of that. You can either find it like I don't really best know how to describe this, but yeah. So it's you can either be like this is really cool because it's about video games, or you can be like they've totally fucked this because they just haven't got this quite right. Because
I kind of took it from the viewpoint of. This isn't video games. Like, it's nothing to do with video games. It's just a cool story set in the future. And yeah, it's set within a video game, but I didn't see any kind of massive correlation between video games apart from, you know, you get to see Master Chief and like fucking Tracer and some other bits and bobs that throw.
So it can be anything, can't
it's all like the different avatars. But it's a really fun film. I enjoyed watching it. It's like classic Spielberg, like Goonies and shit like that. And it brought that kind of enjoyment back, I'd say. It's kind of a fun story. Classic, whatever, boy meets girl, blah, blah, blah. Shit happens. But in Avatar world, so you don't know if he's a boy or he's a girl. Could be a fat guy in his basement, you know, in his pants. Who knows? So they play on that a little bit, but yeah, it's a very fun film. Definitely worth a watch, buddy. I'd say.
Yeah, sounds like a proper popcorn movie. I need to get on. that by the sounds
it's one just to sit down and just let it like soak all over you or wash all over you. That's probably the way to say it, isn't it? But, yeah, it's very good. So yeah, nice. Buddy, that's pretty much my week. The only thing left to do is ask you what you're drinking. Right now,
I got a couple of cheeky Birra Morettis here, buddy. The little
cheeky
gentleman
chappy.
here. He's a cheeky chappy. He's still wearing his green suit, and the mustache matches the tie. What about you, sir?
Once again, buddy, cracking on with the Green King IPA. I just can't get enough.
He loves it.
It just means I get to drink every day, at least, you know, my bare minimum alcoholic limit, which just it makes me feel good.
Yeah, I like to drink to my alcohol limit as well. There's no correlation between my alcohol limit and the official guidelines, but it's my limit, and that's what I drink to, buddy.
My limit.
Yeah. No more than 5 beers a day.
I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, buddy, that's all we done, mate. Have you got anything?
No, all sorted. We should probably, therefore, go and talk about what we've been playing.
Gibbons.
So do you want to kick things off, buddy? What have you been up to this week?
Destiny 2, as always. Got a little raid team update. Last week I said, yeah, we've made it to Callus right at the end there. Yeah, fucking only took us about 45 minutes to fucking get through it on, I think it was Sunday night we did it. And then we did it and we were like, whoa, what do we do now? We've done it. We've nobbled the raid. So we ended up going into the underbelly, which is underneath the Leviathan, and cashing in all our fucking tokens and shit like that. It was bloody lovely. And being Tuesday, which is Destiny Reset Day, I've got a raid booked in straight away after this podcast, buddy. So
okay,
I'm very excited to get on that again and get through it. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. Great group of guys, and it means that we seem to be clicking really well, and we're gonna have a go at the other. What's it? The raid layers, not layers. It's lair, like hair, but Americans can't say that.
No, they can't.
No, retards.
So what's that compared to the thing you were doing before?
So the raid is like a big old 4 different chambers. The raid lair, the lairs, because there's 2 of them. They're just smaller kind of raids. It's still a 6-man team go in there, but there's not as much shit to do. It's like a quicker raid in a way.
Not like a mini raid.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a mini raid. Okay. But I literally haven't touched these 2, so it's like kind of going in fresh. I did have one go actually on the Curse of Osiris one. I can't remember the name of it, but that didn't go very well. So, but just fucking loving D2 still, as always. They've just brought out their Moments of Triumph as well, which is like the big old checklist of shit to get done in year 1. And if you hit so many points, you get like a ghost, and then you get a sparrow, then you get some other shit. More stuff to do, buddy. I love it. I can't put it down.
You love checklists of stuff.
I know. I'm such a cunt.
As long as you're having a good time, buddy.
Indeed, buddy, and that's the thing. Another game that I'm having lots of fun with, which I'm not sure I should admit to, is a tennis game.
Shit.
Yeah, I know, tennis. You know how I feel about tennis games, mate. Not a fan, let's say. But yeah, luckily, this isn't a real tennis game. It's Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch. And it's really good. Like, it feels like a tennis game. Like, when you play it without, like, the superpowers. Like, you've got your top spin, your back spin, your lob shots, your normal shot. It feels cool. And I've been playing a lot of doubles with my son against the computer. And, like, I'm training him. I'm like, right, if you're at the front, you take that side. And I'll cover the back and take this side. And like it works for about a minute, and then he just chases the ball, which is funny. It's what you do if you're a kid, you know. You want to get stuck in.
It's cool that he's getting there, though.
Yeah, man. Obviously, it has got issues with the scoring, which we've discussed before. But
yeah, people have complained about.
Who cares?
That was kind of how I felt when I read it, having not played it. I was like, why would you give a shit about that?
Exactly. I mean, this is a game where you get a power up. And you smash it so hard you can break the other person's racket, and that means you win the game. I'm just saying. Does that happen in real tennis?
It wasn't steeped in realism going in, buddy, so perhaps the scoring is not something you need to worry about too much.
No. But yeah, no, it's got all the traits of a tennis game. So if you have a Switch and you want a tennis game, then I'd say this is for you. It's got like a nice little story mode, a few like little arcade games and stuff to go along with it. So there's loads of fucking shit to do. It's a very good game.
At least there's one good tennis game in the fucking world at the moment, because we had that spate of games
2
releasing
at the same time.
Same week, 2 tennis games.
Stupid.
Both of them reviewed very, very poorly. So
that will happen.
That's a bit
unfortunately.
Of a shame. I've been trying to get hold of Virtua Tennis 3 for the Xbox 360, but
okay, that thing's hard to come by these days.
Yeah, it really is. Like Amazon, but used, and you order it from somewhere, and it takes 3 months or whatever. Like I could order it and get it, but I'm not willing to wait more than 3 days for it, because that's the world we live in now. So
can you buy it digitally? And if so, is it £45?
You cannot buy it digitally. It's not backwards compatible yet, and it was never on the store because full games never were on the 360. So
no, yeah, they were.
No,
I bought Batman Arkham something, one of them. Sure, I did.
I looked on the 360 when we had that little retro phase, and there was nothing available for purchase for the 360.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's all gone now then, because I'm sure I had like Halo 3 as well on there. Because I haven't got any, like, the only disc I've got is fucking Vegas and Project Gotham, and all my other shit was digital, and I'm sure I had Halo 3. But anyway.
Yeah, I got Halo 3 and Payday 2.
Payday
they were
2,
like digital. I can't remember why they came out digitally.
I think it was because we had gold at the time, and they just started giving away some games, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. But there wasn't like a marketplace that you could buy games off of and download them on the 360. It's easy to forget that, but it just wasn't. So because it just wasn't the room on the fucking console. You know, most people had like the 20 gig or the 60 gig console.
Yeah,
so
I remember
there was
those
there was
days.
fuck all room on there. So yeah, shit tennis games. I'm glad you found a good one.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my games. Apart from a couple that we've played, which we'll talk about later. What you been playing? What the fuck is this game?
I've been. I like to have a few bits and bobs for the podcast, buddy. So I tend to frequent the old demos page, and
he's a fan.
There I was, and imagine my surprise when I saw a game called Crypt of the Serpent King.
Sounds good.
With, I shit you not, the sort of cover art that you would have expected to see on like a Microprose Amiga 1200 game in about 1996. Maybe earlier than that, in fact. This is like one of those shit fucking Steam asset flips. Quite what it's doing on the PlayStation Store, I've no idea. It's built in Unity. It's the most basic thing you'll ever see. It's literally just a maze of corridors and walls that are all joined up. It's one of these roguelike ones where, you know, you die and come back with coins and nothing else, whatever. You're a dude, it's first person, the enemies all do exactly the same thing, there's only one type of them. They attack, you dodge, hit them, they attack exactly the same way again, you hit them, they die, they just fall down like a plank. You collect 6 keys to open
It's so
shit, and I just don't know what it's doing on there. And there's been a few cases of this. That fucking Tiger game that was on the store a little while ago, that was on Sony's official YouTube channel.
Yeah,
where they
remember.
They just chuck shit up. Like I don't want to kick this dude who made this game, because it works. It works as a game, and I got no problem with you know, making a game or whatever. You know, Steam will accept fucking anything, so fine. But there's the PlayStation Store is supposed to be curated, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever that this is on there. So, yeah, really baffling. It's 100. I think it's 128 megs in size, which gives you some sort of idea for a shooter, like a first person like RPG. If you fired it up on your like Pentium 2 in 1997, then you wouldn't be at all surprised. You'd be like, amazed. Yeah, this is just a current game. There we go. So, yeah. Avoid. Don't understand. Don't understand that at all. The other one that I've been playing this week, buddy, and this has no correlation with the fact that this is my last week working from home for an IT company. It's got nothing to do with it whatsoever. I've been playing this thing called A Dark Room. Mm-hmm. And it is a text adventure. So,
yeah.
Have you played it? Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay. Well, here's a link to it in the Discord there. So you can see the opening page.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna light this fire. Right. Just waiting.
Yeah.
Right. What do I do now?
Stoke it. Stoke the fire.
Okay, I gotta wait to stoke the fire.
So, while you're having a little go of that, I'll describe what it is. It's just a website, adarkroom.doublespeakgames.com. This is a completely free text adventure with a few buttons. So, hang on, there's some sort of fucking JCB going past outside, apparently. Let me just...
Tell him to fuck off. Give him the finger, mate.
It's jogged on down the road. So yeah, you start off, and it just says a dark room, and there's a button to light the fire, and then it's just text at the side, so it says, "Oh, the fire is lit," and it comes up saying it's a firelit room.
Shit, my wood is running out.
Yeah, and then you've got a silent forest, which comes up, and you can gather wood, and that's on a timer there as well. It'll tell you what you're gathering. Dry brush and dead branches litter the forest floor. Stoke the fire again. Keep it going. stranger.
I'm going to wait till it
arrives.
gets... Oh, yeah, strangers are... Yeah, mate, he collapsed in the corner. I'm going to let him freeze to death.
Well, as is your right. But yeah, so more and more options and things appear. This is essentially an RTS, but it's all text-based. You've just got sort of database management buttons. So you stoke the fire to keep it going. Someone arrives, they can build stuff, so then you get the option to be able to build a cart and traps, and then you can put traps in the woods, and you can use the cart to carry wood, so every time you hit the get the wood button, it doubles the amount that you get, and then slowly but surely you can build huts which settlers will move into, and then you've got a roster of people that you can assign to hunting, gathering, or trapping.
Okay.
And it's just, there's a story going on in the background. It literally just texts on its own, scrolling down the left whenever anything happens. I got quite addicted to this, buddy, and I had, before I knew it, I had meat and pelts and all sorts in my stores. I had, and the Silent Forest becomes like a small, like a insignificant village, and then a modest village, and then I had like a trading post. It just keeps giving you more and more options. There's something very, very addictive there. It's so simple, but it's just very elegant the way that it works. And before I knew it, like an hour had gone by, and I'd been staring at a page of text for an hour, and was very happy with that. So
nice. There's nothing wrong with text adventures. I had a stage of doing that on the phone. I can't remember what it was called now. I bought a couple of them a year or so ago, and really, really enjoyed them. It was really cool.
yeah, well, you had where people sort of talk back to you and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like a space adventure. I literally can't remember the name of it though, but definitely awesome, I would say.
Yeah. So so lots of different scenarios. Like, I haven't really worked out the depth of the thing yet. Obviously, once you start getting more and more huts, then you can kind of decide how you allocate your resources, and that'll decide like how quickly you get wood versus how quickly you get meat and stuff. And you've got to make sure you've got enough stuff for all your people. And then occasionally there'll be like wolf attacks and stuff, and it'll be like your settlers are mourning the loss of the dead, and you suddenly like lose half of your people. Weirdly compelling for what is essentially just a page of text on a website. I really like it. So, adarkroom.doublespeakgames.com to take you there. It's also got a really nice save feature where you can, it saves it as just like an HTML code, basically. So you can just export the code. I mean, it'll save it in your browser, so if you close the window, then it'll save it in state.
It'll come back up. That's nice.
But you can also just export the code, or import the code as a way of saving and loading as well. There's a reset button. You can change the color of it from white on black to black on white. That's about it. There's an app version that you can get on your phone. Don't know, man. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah, mate. I'm involved. I'm on it.
That's about it.
It's got some meat from a trap.
There you go. It feels silly at first. It's like it's more like you're reading a book rather than playing a game, but it's pretty cool. I did play a few of those little text adventures when I was like right back at school back in the day, because that was all that we could get working on the school computers. But really nice little blast from the past. And
just had a pop-up, an event. Through the walls, shuffling noises can be heard.
No, you can choose, buddy. Do you want to investigate it or ignore them?
Get stuck in. It lies. There's nothing. Go back inside.
He's in, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, that's what I've been playing, buddy. The only other stuff we've been playing, a couple of things together. Both of them car related. One of them's a racing game. I wouldn't call the other one a racing game. Let's start with that. And that would be Onrush, which was completely free to play the whole game all the way over the weekend on the PS4, in Europe at least, or rumours that they'll be doing the same thing in the US in the coming weeks. But we downloaded Onrush. I think it's like 16, 17 gigs, and it had all the multiplayer features, so we were able to play that on game night as like a 5, was it?
Sorry, yeah, I need to put this down.
You're going to have to close that. I know. I understand.
It's addicted. What are we talking about? On Rush, yeah?
On Rush. The only way is to close it. I was doing the same.
Yeah, no, I've closed it.
I was on the phone to someone from a business earlier trying to fix their computer, and I was remoted onto their computer having a look at something in their Outlook, and the fire was dying, so I stoked it, and I forgot that I was on the phone to this person and connected to their computer, and they were just like, are you doing anything? I was like, oh yeah, I'm just checking. Just checking
this thing. I've got to check the manual for the thing.
Yeah.
Just using Google to do stuff.
Fucking addictive.
Yeah, I'm guessing you said we played on Rush.
Yeah,
on
we had
game night.
we all got it. It was free over the weekend. We played it as a 5, and everyone hated it.
Everyone didn't like it. It's true.
I liked it.
I was fine with it.
I thought it was quite cool, if I'm honest.
I played a bit more on Sunday with the kids, and they fucking loved it. They were just like, smash things. I'm like, yeah, mate, smash them all.
Well, there is a question of target audience here. The biggest problem that I thought I would have with it is the fact that if you don't know what On Rush is, it's sort of an arcade racer in that you are driving and controlling vehicles, but there's no start line or finish line or positions. It's kind of like I described it perfectly on the night, but I can't remember what I said now. It's like a cross between a couple of different genres.
It's like a MOBA.
It's got MOBA elements, yeah, absolutely. So you've got little shitty cars that you can crash into to get extra boost, and then you've got an enemy team. So it's basically like a sort of team deathmatch thing where there's the blue team and the orange team or whatever. And the whole aim of the game is to get takedowns, to score points, to outscore in the points department the opposing team. There's a few different modes. There's a checkpoint race one where everyone has to go through gates, and as they go through gates, they get extra seconds that they earn for their team. And there are timers at the top, and the aim is to be the team that doesn't run out of time. It's none of it is racing, none of it is finishing first or anything like that. It's all just boosts and flips and takedowns. And I thought that would be an issue because I like racing games, because I like racing, and this is not a racing game. I think
it's not a racing game, really, is it?
But it's a smashy bashy game where you get you get points for smashy bashing, buddy, and
you do. You get boosts for doing jumps and landing on other cars and smashing up other cars and not dying. And yeah, like I found it reasonably enjoyable, to be honest. Like the couple of times that I played it, like if you see that game for what it is, it does it really well. Like the frame rate does not drop at all. I mean, graphically it could be a bit nicer. It's lovely and shiny, but the environments are a bit, docile. I'd say.
It's running at a high frame rate, and it looks and a high resolution. But as you say, like texturing's a bit dodgy in places.
Yeah. But it's quite garish on the eyes, like the menu systems and things like that.
It's obnoxious, isn't it, with all the music?
Yeah, but once again, it's targets audience. Like we said, like this is what it's going for. People that love all this like big extreme music and bright, not funky colors, but just bright in your face kind of stuff. It's loud and proud, and what it does do pretty well is get you in the action pretty quickly. And as soon as you're wrecked, you're straight back in there. So it's that whole kind of thing of like, what's it? The fucking battle royale kind of type of game. It's like, once you're dead, you just go straight again, kind of thing. Even to the point that, like, say there's like 3 rounds to a race, it won't stop in between rounds. It'll just go like, right, that one's done. Go for the next one where you're driving around. I think it does all that kind of stuff like really well, to be honest.
It's a slick game. I totally agree with you. It aimed to do something, and it does that brilliantly. The question then becomes, do you like what it's doing?
Is that for you? Yeah,
exactly.
And unfortunately, no, that's not for us.
No, I think it's
is a shame.
I think it's a good game, but I just don't think it's. I don't think it's for us.
No.
I had a pretty good time, but I definitely wouldn't play it on my own. I think, just wouldn't see the point, really. Sure. But it's a shame because it controls quite nicely as well. And the vehicle selection's really cool. There's all the customization. But I think Funk was kind of describing it as like a sort of a game for the Fortnite players, and I think he was probably right about that.
I think you're right for those people that haven't got like attention spans in a way.
Gibbons. So from one extreme to another, we have also been playing this week, and me and Funk had a 3-hour session of this yesterday. But you jumped in on game night with us doing
game night, for an hour or so.
This is the F1 game, and I've been watching a few not specifically F1 channels, but racing, like gaming racing channels on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was kind of wondering, like, these guys who are basically making a living off of the ad revenue of running like a channel where they just chuck up like Project Cars and F1 videos, and then they do like sponsorship deals with manufacturers and stuff. And I was thinking, like, do they all race? Are they all good racers in that? Presumably they're a pretty high level of the game, otherwise people wouldn't want to watch them. But are they playing without assists? Like, are they all like assists turned off? What I've found is, no, that's not necessarily the case. A lot of them haven't got the assists turned off, but a couple of them do. And I was kind of thinking, I wonder how hard that is. We've never really properly tried F1 with it all turned off. And it got the better of me. In the end, I had to fire it up and have a go. And what I found was you can kind of get it. Like,
practice makes perfect.
It's not as hard as I thought it was. The biggest problems being that you will lock your brakes if you're not careful, so you have to be very careful.
And you'll spin out if you put your foot down.
Yeah, if you give it too much juice coming out a corner, then you lose the back. Those are the two things to worry about.
The
Apart
third one you're fine.
Is then like trying to not destroy your tyres with a combination of sliding and locking up. But either way, it has turned this into a new game for us. Funk and I did like 5 or 6 25% races yesterday evening. And with all the assists off, we both span at least once a race, like every time. We're still just sort of slowly getting there. But it's the challenge of it. And we were talking about it, how it compares to Ark. Like, and that sounds like a bit of a weird thing, but we seem to be in this sort of mood at the moment, games-wise, where if it's rock hard, then it just makes it so much more compelling, because everything...
You should play some Bloodborne, mate.
Everything just matters more. In Ark, I'm like running through the jungle and I could die at any moment. Like, I could fuck it at any moment. And when I do the right thing and we successfully get hold of something, then I feel brilliant, because I know how delicate a situation it is.
Oh, he's a thrill seeker now.
But it's the same with the F1 game. Like, it's exactly the same. We're in a situation now where it's like, I won a race the other day. We only had, and I shouldn't have felt super happy about this. It was me, Funk, and 20 AI set to 40, which is like just above easy. Like, I normally play the AI on like 75. So I'm playing it on, it's like playing PES on amateur or something. But it gave me such a thrill to win that race, because I hadn't made any mistakes. Like, I managed to drive reasonably fast all the way through and stay ahead of the pack and not get into trouble. It's brought like a whole new fucking thing to this. Like,
and that's a big thing. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, and pretty much on game night, I was like, this has changed this game completely, and it just gives it that extra bit of challenge, which was clearly lacking in this game. Because we've bought the F1 series for a good few years now, and now that we've had the wheels for a while, we've got into racing a lot more. I'd say, well, it's definitely a game night, like a Friday night must. We have to always pretty much get the wheels out and have a go on them. But Project Cars 2 came out, and it just it blew me away with how good that game is. All the diversity in it, like the handling. Yeah, it just everything felt so good. And then it kind of just killed F1 for me, because it just didn't feel right or real. It felt fake, which is exactly what I
felt
just
gamey. Yeah, it felt like a
yeah,
game.
Exactly. But then as soon as like, you chucked me in and it's like, right, we're doing this. I'm like, sure, I'll give it a go. And like, it gave me that feeling like from kind of like Drive Club where, I'm driving around with a big fucking smile on my face again.
On the ragged
and I'm
edge.
like, and I'm just like, oh, and then I'm thinking, I wonder if I could drift this car around the corner. Obviously, that's a bad idea in the F1 car.
Can be done,
but,
though.
I was thinking maybe I can master that technique and destroy my tyres, obviously, in doing so. But no, it definitely just gave it that challenge, which was lacking from this game, I think, which is cool. And yeah, I feel like, yeah, I'm quite happy to persevere with it. Obviously, yeah, we'll get better and better at it, but yeah, it is tough. It is very, very tough to get your head around it to start off with, because even like when I think we were going around like Silverstone or something, and I was like, fucking, I've done a blinding lap. And it just came to like the last corner, and I just put on the juice a little bit too much. I fucking span out. I was like, you fucking retard. And there's only me to blame. There's no one else there.
And that's the other thing about rock hard games. They can only be rock hard if they are completely fair.
Exactly.
They can only fuck you like that if there's the fault is entirely at your feet, and that's the same with Ark as well. Like it can only bone you if it was your fault. But yeah, it's just very cool.
A hell of a lot of fun with that, and I'll definitely be up for doing some more of it. Definitely.
Yeah, Gibbons. It just makes it feel so alive. Like it just makes it so satisfying when you do the right thing, and has also kind of changed perhaps my opinion somewhat on whether or not we should pick up the next one. But we'll get on to that later on, buddy. So yeah, that's me and that's you, unless you've got anything else, buddy. Shall we move on?
Gibbons, buddy.
And now it's time for the news.
Fucking news.
Number one.
Number wang.
Obviously, we haven't got much because we already wouldn't have had much because there's nothing going on. We're in the middle of summer. There's nothing going on. But then on top of that, we're a day early as well. So I haven't got much. We'll rattle through it nice and quick, buddy. Number one. The new Xbox One update is out now, featuring all those nice improvements that they were talking about at E3 to the dashboard. As well as the new Fast Start feature, which is probably the sort of flagship feature of this update. So Fast Start prioritizes the files required to play the game in order for you to fire it up like straight away, basically. So it downloads the files literally in the order that they are required, so that if you're downloading a game, then you can load it up and you're away real quick. It's early doors with this. It's not on all games because obviously it's a bit of a system that needs to be kind of added and patched into stuff. So at the moment, you'll be able to see an icon that says this is a Fast Start game when you buy it or download it or whatever. They are including quite a few Xbox Game Pass games into this, which is exactly what this service is for. You want to be able to quickly download games when they're part of a subscription, and you're not going to want to necessarily keep them all because you got limited storage. So this is just another feather in the cap, really, in terms of the sort of subscription service that they're providing at the moment.
Was it Rocket League is on Game Pass now?
Yeah,
so that's pretty fucking cool.
There's so much cool stuff on there. It's a fantastic service. Other stuff this update does, not a lot really in terms of sort of back-end gubbins.
You can now stream in full screen, apparently.
You can now stream in full screen. There's a lot of updates to Mixer, lots of integration with Mixer and the dashboard, and lots of nice sort of library improvements, quality of service stuff, quality of life stuff, rather. So yeah, pretty cool. There you go. I'm sure Digital Foundry will pick up that Fast Start thing shortly and do something on there which I can read, because that's the sort of fucker I am. So I'm sure I'll find out a bit more about it soon. But yeah, cool Cool service. Number 2, this is kind of the big story of the week. It's still kind of ongoing. It's a bit of a weird one. Basically, ArenaNet, which is the team behind Guild Wars 2, which is a game that you had ages ago, didn't you, back in the day, buddy?
Yeah, I've still got it installed, I think. It probably needs a few updates.
Maybe a little bit. They were having some sort of discussion about the development of the thing on Twitter, and a couple of the development team were involved. People who'd been there for... one person who'd been there for like a year, one person who'd been there for, I think, 13 years. And then it all sort of kicked off, and these two developers basically ended up saying some stuff that ArenaNet disliked so much that they immediately dismissed both of them. So that's been kind of the big story this week. The dangers, basically, of speaking your mind on Twitter, I suppose. People don't quite realise. But yeah, basically the discussion was surrounding the way that the story and dialogue works in Guild Wars 2. And the sort of argument between the community and the dev team was, this is an MMO, it's very, very difficult to write a compelling, affecting story. And it seemed like a discussion or whatever, but it just eventually turned into
excuses. This
weird entitled rant from one member of the staff. Argument then waded in on by one of their colleagues, who told the users basically they shouldn't speak out, like no one asked for their opinion, which always goes down well. I have to read this original tweet from this developer because it's an example of everything that's wrong with both gaming and the world. This is literally a tweet sent out to the Guild Wars 2 community as a community member questioned what the community would describe, and I've done a little bit of digging into this, and they all think that the story's a bit shit. So it's not like this guy was being an asshole by saying like...
Like most games then.
Yeah, to a degree. It's not like this dude was being like a twat for singling this thing out. So this is genuine tweet from the developer. It was from a personal account, but you know, you'd have to be pretty naive to think you're not representing your business when you're arguing with fans of the game that you work on. The next rando arsehat who attempts to explain the concept of branching dialogue to me as if, you know, having worked in game narrative for a fucking decade, I've never heard of it, is getting insta-blocked. So that was...
I mean, that's how you deal with communities.
That's how you do it. Yeah. Immediately fired by the studio, and then did an interview with Polygon, moaning about how they weren't even allowed to argue their case. I'm not sure what the case was. And saying that they only kicked off because they were a woman and felt they were being condescended by a man. So I suppose there's another lesson to be learned here. Maybe it's not always about gender. Maybe sometimes it's actually about what it's about. Maybe that might be the case. But yeah, expect to hear more about this because it was so public. Like, I think this sort of thing probably happens all the time in companies and stuff, but this was just such a public thing, and there's so little news at the moment that all of the major publications jumped on it, and then suddenly she was being interviewed by Polygon, and it's like, this is really like escalated quickly.
What they need to do is like, they should write that, and then all they need to do at the end is these are my own personal views, nothing of arena.net or whatever it is. So then they've got their fucking backs covered. I'm like, I'm not talking about the company. This is just me.
Yeah.
And they're fine. I think that's how it works anyway.
I've heard that, yeah. Either way, we live in a very strange world, buddy. A world where everyone can immediately fucking scream at everyone else.
No, mate, that's all we do on this podcast. We just like slate and slander everyone. Like, fuck it.
Yeah,
why not?
No bother.
I mean, people could do that to us, but I mean, that would be a waste of time.
It'd be a waste of everyone's time. Probably wouldn't bother.
Feel free to waste your time.
Yeah, fill your boots. Help yourself. So a couple more things from me this week, buddy. Warframe is heading to the Switch, which is good news because that's a cool, well-supported free-to-play game. It's being ported by the guys behind the Switch version of Doom, who are called Panic Button. That's another excellent thing, because that was a great port. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
You're all out tonight? All out?
Cunts.
Isn't it? Yeah. This is what happens when there's no jazz on to appease everyone, buddy. They all fire about in their Bugattis. It's not great. What can you do?
Obviously.
So yeah, Warframe coming to the Switch. Also, Hand of Fate 2 has been announced for a Switch port as well. But just nipping back to Warframe, just to finish off, I don't know if you've been keeping track of any of their sort of big content updates and stuff. Obviously, this is Games as a Service, my favourite.
Your favourite.
But they've announced, I think it was Venus, like a brand new giant open world, essentially like a new game altogether. Coming in their next update. They've already got open world stuff going on from the previous update, but they're also adding a massive like ship combat system. So they're going to have like proper space combat dogfighting in Warframe going forwards. And this
game just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's crazy.
It's mental, isn't it? And that's
unfortunately
that's coming to all platforms.
I just can't get on with it. It's weird. I mean, I'd obviously have to chuck a few hours into it, but I don't know. I can't get on with the combat in that game. It's weird.
I like the melee combat, the stuff with the swords and stuff. But I'm with you on the shooting elements. I didn't find them to be that great. And obviously, you know, coming from both of us coming from Destiny 2, which has like the most satisfying shooting of anything.
It's just the best, mate. It's fine. You can say it.
So it's really cool though that big update's coming. No news about exactly when it will be coming to Switch or the other platforms. There's usually a bit of a delay. They tend to be running a sort of an edition or two back, like the old sort of Minecraft kind of instancing that they used to do. But it's just it's gathered pace, Warframe, and that was really interesting. That No Clip documentary, Danny O'Dwyer, worth watching that if you've got any interest in this game. And yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, that was actually a really good one. I enjoyed watching that.
It was so exciting because of the fact that the studio was like on the ragged edge there. Like if Warframe hadn't worked,
if it didn't work, it was fucked.
That was it for like all of them. So yeah, it's well worth a watch and fucking cool, that thing. I'm gonna have to check that out. Ship combat stuff. Maybe room for VR there as well. That'd be pretty decent.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's my news, buddy. I think it's time to hand over to you for my favourite section, and I'm sure the listeners as well, buddy, and that would of course be Ash's News Favourite Things of the Week.
If you like news but hate information, you have found the right place. Ash's News Favourite Thing of the Week.
Cheers, buddy. The app that I use seems to be fucked this week.
Oh shit.
So that was a bit annoying, so I had to find a new one. I'm using Gamify. It's another video games news app, which I'm trialing out. It might take over the previous one of Appy Gamer. So yeah, I've got a few things. I've got loads actually this week. What have I got? Yeah, here we go. Number one, Yooka-Laylee, that fucking Banjo-Kazooie off spin by those people that worked there. Kind of whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay, that game. It's not too bad. Enjoyable. They're bringing out a retro-themed N64 shader for it. So it's going to look worse. So they're making it look like an N64 game. I thought that was a bit weird.
That is weird.
But hey ho.
Well, that'd be cool though. Be interested to see that.
I was going to make a joke about Chinese people called Ho, but that was going to be my segue into this about Chinese hackers.
Okay.
141 Chinese hackers have been arrested for creating a PUBG cheat software. 141.
That's a major operation.
That's crazy.
Good lord.
I don't understand. Anyway, Xbox corporate VP, I don't know who it is. Mike Ybarra. There you go. Just another thing. We're on about cross play. He's like, hey, I want cross progression on all games. I'm like, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Because if Destiny 2 had cross progression, I could play it on a PC for a little bit and be like, yeah, that was nice. And then go play it on the PS4 for a bit and be like, that's nice as well. Lovely jubbly. That'd be sweet.
That would
if that
be
was
cool.
The case.
Yeah, very cool.
I'd love it. It'd be really good. And finally, oh no, a couple more actually. That's a lie. A crazy one from Nintendo here. They're looking to release roughly 20 to 30 indie games on the Switch per week. in the future.
I mean, that just sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Because imagine the fucking terrible quality. I mean, what you're talking about is Steam.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I thought. I was just like, this is just... That's a bad idea. That's quantity, not quality. And the whole thing of Nintendo is quality. Like, that's the whole reason you get a Nintendo system, is because they have those bespoke games that are just, you know, not a cut above the rest, but, you know, different.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They have their own personal charm.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a good way of fucking that.
Good way of turning it into like the fucking Apple App Store or something.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it'll turn into. It's going to... Because obviously, touchscreen, you can have it as like in tablet, like sideways as a tablet. So yeah, you're going to get all kinds of absolute terrible games on that.
Just a load of Candy Crush clones. It's like,
yeah,
fucking well
really.
done.
I feel like that's where it's going to go.
That's so ridiculous as well, considering how precious they are with their like flagship titles and stuff on.
I know,
and they never go on other platforms or anything. Like,
and then they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Everyone's got this now.
Just pollute our fucking store.
Let's just put loads of crap on there for free, and then get all the kids involved. Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Anyway, final one for me. Good news story of the week, buddy. Overwatch, that game that we bought and barely played, it was okay. Couldn't get on board with it though, unfortunately. They had a skin for Mercy, which is like the healer with the wings, a pink one, and it raised a record-breaking $12.7 million for breast cancer research. So fucking well played.
That's cool.
To was it Activision Blizzard now, is it?
Yeah.
Or is it just Blizzard? I don't know. Yeah, so that's nice. I think charity is a good thing. Bungie do loads of stuff for charity and stuff like that, which is cool. But yeah, it's always nice to have those things.
Yeah, it's important to highlight it when you're constantly, you know, quite rightly, we're constantly bashing companies like Activision, but it's worth highlighting when they do good shit.
You see... I can't remember how much they made, but Games Done Quick, the summer version of it, just finished a couple of weeks ago. I forgot to report.
I think it was 2.5 million or something there.
It was record breaking for them again. And you know, every time I see it, I'm like, I get slightly a bit more on board with watching some of these Games Done Quick, because it's fucking impressive.
It is
some of the
amazing.
Stuff they do.
Yeah,
you're like, holy shit!
I think I prefer the glitch ones, like where they found.
Oh, definitely.
The exploit ones are more exciting than someone who's just got
like the Half-Life 2 ones and stuff like that are just crazy. I'm like, how the fuck do you find this? Like, I don't know.
It's like that Mario Kart 64 track, where you can jump over that little wall at the start and do a lap in a second. And he does it in like 7 seconds. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah.
So there you go, buddy. That's my news favourite things for this week.
Oh, thank you very much, buddy, for that cheeky little cheeky cheeks. And that was your news. Before that, of course, was my news. And that was the news. And now it's time for Out This Week.
That's out this week. Woo!
We won't be long here, buddy. We've got Adventure Time, Pirates of the Enchiridion, coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. That is an Adventure Time game. Hand of Fate 2, as I mentioned before, that's coming to Switch this week. We've got Sonic Mania Plus, which is the deluxe version of Sonic Mania, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Mother Gunship arrives on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And Pool Panic comes to Switch and PC.
Welcome to the summer drought.
Yes, very much.
We're definitely in it right now.
I don't really understand how it could get worse, really, in terms of the sort of quality of stuff that's coming out right now. Very low.
I don't know,
but that's your lot. That is literally your lot.
Oh well.
So I thought we'd finish off proceedings, buddy. But obviously we're a day early. We're only doing a shortened down show, so probably best to save any questions and comments and feedback we've had for next week's episode. But considering how terrible the summer drought is right now, we tend to have a quick look at the months ahead, more exciting times as we head back into some sort of golden release time, buddy, and decide exactly what it is we're likely to be buying throughout the rest of the year. So this seems as good a time as any to do that. I've made a list.
I love it. He's got a list there.
Some of them I think you will agree with. Some of them you probably won't. What I will say is it's pretty strong this autumn, fall, winter, whatever you want to call them. Autumn. It's pretty strong. Obviously, I'm not interested in all of the franchises like Battlefield and Call of Duty and so on.
FIFA.
Yeah, but there's certainly plenty to be getting on with.
Assassin's Creed.
So I've got... what have I got here? 3, 4, 5, 6... I've got 8 games here, which I think...
That'll do.
Viable
that should
purchases.
Keep us busy. Yeah.
So firstly, and as I mentioned before, buddy, F1 2018. Is it 2018 or 2019, the new one? I suppose it's
18. Sure.
2019.
I think it's a year behind, isn't it, of all the other ones? I could be wrong.
I always get confused because FIFA's always 19.
Yeah. I'm going for 18. I'm a firm believer of 18. That is F1 18, released on the 24th of August, 2018.
There we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm obviously getting a massive load of enjoyment out of the last game at the moment, and it makes me want the new one because it's because why not? Because I fucking love it.
Because fuck it, yeah.
It looks nice. I've been watching some videos of it. And I'd love to have the new cars because they're like super grippy in exciting new ways. They've announced loads more like classic content for this next one, making it like almost viable to do a championship like that and have maybe some online stuff like that. That could be fun, especially with the assists as we found it now. So yeah, those things combined basically, it makes me want it. I don't know how everyone else will feel about that, but there we are. We'll leave that.
I will try and persuade you to put it off until the first time it will go in the sale.
Yeah, which will be about
later.
6 weeks after it comes out.
Yeah,
it'll go down by
which is
20
always
quid.
the same with F1.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to try my best to try and persuade you to do that, just to save a bit of dollar bills. Because
and we'll see how that goes.
I'm a bit strapped for cash at the moment, buddy.
That can happen. Next one, PES 2019.
That's a full-blown Gibbon, has to be done.
That's a day oneer because
that's your jam.
That's my game.
Yeah, we have one each.
I dread to think how many hours I've played of this year's PES.
Scary,
terrifying. We'll move on. Strange Brigade is the other one in August.
So it's kind of like the sleeper hit.
This is the possible golden release time game.
Yeah, maybe
it's a first-person co-op adventure game featuring like puzzles and shooty bang bang and so on, buddy. And it's from the Sniper Elite dudes. I quite like the look of it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, it's intriguing, I would say. That's probably the best thing about it. It looks something we could get behind, I feel, and could be quite a lot of fun.
Gibbons. It again, it's probably another one that comes down to convincing some of the other people we play with that it's a good idea, because I think you get the most out of it with multiple players. But either way, yes. I really like the look of it. So there we go. That is August. September, we've got Destiny 2 Forsaken, which obviously you're going to want to pick up straight away. So that's a purchase.
Of course, that's a full-blown Gibbon with all the fucking news that's coming out about that. I'm very excited. There's a lot of old features coming back.
Yeah, they love it. They love that shit.
Well, the fact that there's like loads of new supers and stuff like that, it's just going to be awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be sweet.
Well, as long as you're happy, buddy, then that's one we'll pick up. So that's Destiny 2 Forsaken. And Spyro Reignited Trilogy I've popped down here. 2 reasons for this. One, I was always quite a big fan of Spyro. I just don't tend to talk about it. Okay. And secondly, my missus is going to be fucking all over this. I know it. She loved Spyro.
Crash Bandicoot Remastered or whatever it is, Syndrome.
I have
mate,
made
here.
that
It's
clear.
just-
We actually went back to Crash Bandicoot, the insane collection, the other day.
Oh yeah, that's what it's
and
called.
I shit you not, I nearly embedded my fucking controller into the TV. It made me so angry. That fucking game can fucking die.
Yeah.
So yes,
let
Spyro.
the rage flow through you.
So yeah,
Yes.
Spyro. You know, there you go.
Yeah. Sure.
It's a
Was it a £30 price point? You reckon? I can't remember. I haven't-
Yeah, it's a trilogy, isn't it? So
yeah. Fuck it, mate. If you want it, do it. My kids will play it, so that's fine by me.
It was a better game than fucking Crash Bandicoot ever was. That's for sure.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah, man.
Into October, slim pickings for us. Lots of big names coming out, but nothing we
Big games coming out,
we
but
give
they're
a
all
fuck
shite.
about. Except of course, Red Dead Redemption 2, buddy, arrives in October.
Fucking.
Don't really think there's anything much to say about that.
It's gonna be good.
I believe so.
It's gonna be very good.
That'll be a day one. November, another day one for us, buddy. Hitman 2.
Hitman 2, get in there. Have you watched any of the footage of it, of like the F1 takedowns and stuff like that?
It's cool.
Oh man, I can't wait to get my hands on fucking number 47 again and just fucking getting on with little disguises and it's so much fun.
So cool. Really excited for that.
Yeah,
Looks
man.
like they've really expanded things, and that's all they needed to do, really.
But have they gone too far?
I suppose we'll see whether they've dipped into Trials Evolution territory.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there, but I think that's probably going to be a day one for us.
Yeah, man, definitely.
And the last one, because there's nothing that I want in December, was Fallout 76, buddy. And this one, I feel like this is the sort of game that I'm going to get more and more excited about the closer we get to it. The idea of playing basically Fallout 4, but with like you and a couple of our other friends as well, and building like a base from scratch. Basically Ark, but made by Bethesda in the Fallout universe. I think that might have to be something I get involved in, if I'm honest.
I'm definitely getting this game.
Yeah, because I don't think we've ever talked about like how excited you are for this. Like, what are your thoughts?
I'd say I'm at least I'd say an 8 of excitement right now.
Yeah, I think it will build.
I know, and I'm worried about that. And the beauty of it is, I don't think I'm going to get disappointed by this game because I already have so many like doubts about how shit it's going to be, just because of various things we've said in the past, like the whole thing of like I enjoy Skyrim because I'm on my own, these are my adventures, and then if I'm playing this with other people, then I have to wait for them to do whatever they're doing, but I want to go and do this, but then we need someone to, like we said, like someone has to be like in charge in a way, or we need to find a way to work together as a team. And I don't know, there's so many things that could go wrong due to the dynamic of the people we're playing with. But we're all a nice group of guys, and we all get on really well, so we should be fine. I was going to say stuff about Elder Scrolls Online, but I don't really need to because that failed because it was a shit game.
Yeah,
whereas
it's a different thing, isn't it? Like it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
What this is.
Whereas we know what Fallout is. We know what that game is because we played Fallout 4. Gibbons, I didn't play it enough, but I feel like we should be absolutely fine, and we will chuck in minimum of like 40, 50 hours into this game just for sheer pleasure of just playing games with each other.
Yeah, just enjoyment and novelty factor should see us through, the
exactly.
novelty of being able to exist in that world together, I think probably carry it over. But as I say, we'll see far more of it in the coming months, and I think that it's going to be one of those games that people just get more and more and more excited about.
I think so, and then it's going to look at if they turn it into some sort of games as a service thing, like all the updates they're going to do for that game and shit. But we'll see what happens with that. That's just future stuff.
Gibbons, absolutely. So yeah, there's the list. It's 8 odd games. It's a fair bit of money we need to save up. but it's looking pretty bright for the rest of the year. I mean, even going into February, there's stuff like Metro coming out in February. We've got The Last of Us still to look forward to as well. So, yeah, the future's pretty bright, I think. I think games are looking pretty good right now. And as I said, like, we've picked 8 games there, like a couple a month for the rest of the year. But that doesn't even include all the big fucking blockbusters that a lot of people really like as well. Like, a lot of people are going to be mega excited for Battlefield 5.
Battlefield 5, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, we shall see. But, yeah, there you go, buddies. So I think that'll about do us, buddy, for episode 171. I see you've titled it quite provocatively. We could come slightly unstuck there by the time this goes live, but
no, mate, it's coming home.
It's fucking coming home, mate. So
it's fucking coming home.
You know,
France in the final.
Yeah, it was a tight one. Snuck it with a little headed goal. They kind of cancelled each other out. They would
fuckers
presumably batter England if they made it that far, but we'll see. We shall see.
It's coming home. Oh,
fucking
dear.
Sweet. Well, as I said, we'll have a Fuckwit Corner back and Street Beat and so on next time round, buddies. Got to let Schley go now because he's got his
fucking Raider clock.
Raider clock. He's got his dad's duties, so
yeah,
off he trots. And yeah, only remains for me to say thanks so much for listening, and you can find us at the following places: www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk, where you will also find a link to our Discord channel and also Street Beat if you want to submit some questions or comments for next week's show. We're on the social medias, facebook.com/the JfG podcast. Our Twitter handle is @the JfG podcast. You can find us on the video streaming sites, YouTube, twitch.tv, and beam.pro, buddy. Mixer.com, beam.pro. Back in the day, wonderful times. We're on
good times.
The PlayStation 4 as well. We have a community on there, which you can come and join if you'd like. And you can find that by searching the JfG podcast on there. We are also on SoundCloud. I don't know why you'd go there. Just don't go there. I might stop saying it, but I don't think I will stop saying it. But I might stop saying it.
Who knows?
Who knows? And we are also on Google Plus, if that is how you choose to live your life. Thanks so much for listening, buddies. We will catch you next time. Until then, I've been Alex. He has been Ash.
Goodbye.
Farewell. You've been listening to the JfG podcast with Ash and me, Alex. To find out more, head to www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook.com/the JfG podcast, or Twitter, where we are @the JfG podcast. Episodes go live every Sunday, and if you could pop onto iTunes and write us a quick review, we would love every inch of you, even if you got old and fat. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.